Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling a really interesting problem called number of ways to paint n by 3 grid. This is a Leetcode hard problem, but honestly, once you see the pattern, it becomes one of the most satisfying dynamic programming problems to solve. We're going to break it down step by step, so you can confidently handle grid-based problems like this in the future. Let's get started. First, let's understand what we're being asked to do. We are given a grid with n rows and exactly 3 columns. We have 3 colors available: red, yellow, and green. Our goal is to paint every single cell in this grid, but there's a catch. No two adjacent cells can have the same color. That means if a cell is red, its neighbor to the right, left, top, or bottom cannot be red. We need to find the total number of valid ways to paint the entire grid. Since this number can be huge, we'll return the result modulo 10 to the power of 9 plus 7. Let's visualize the constraints. We have a grid that is n rows tall, but notice it is always exactly 3 columns wide. This small width is a huge hint. It suggests we can process the grid row by row. For any given cell, it cannot match the color of the cell directly next to it, and it cannot match the color of the cell directly above or below it. This no matching neighbors rule is the core constraint we need to satisfy. Before we think about n rows, let's just look at a single row. How many ways can we paint a strip of 3 cells? Well, for the first cell, we can pick any of the 3 colors. For the second cell, we can pick any color except the one we used for the first cell, so that leaves us 2 choices. For the third cell, we can pick any color except the one used for the second cell, which leaves us 2 choices again. So 3 times 2 times 2 gives us 12 possible ways to paint a single row validly. Now here is the key insight that cracks this problem. We don't need to track all 12 specific combinations like red, green, red, or yellow, blue, yellow. We only care about the structure of the colors in a row, because that structure determines what we can do in the next row. We can group the patterns into 2 types. Type ABA means the first and third colors are the same, like red, yellow, red. Type ABC means all 3 colors are different, like red, yellow, green. Interestingly, there are exactly 6 ways to make an ABA pattern, and 6 ways to make an ABC pattern. Let's see how these types interact. Suppose our current row is an ABA type, like red, yellow, red. What can we paint in the row directly below it? We need to pick colors that don't clash vertically. If we work through the possibilities, we find there are exactly 3 valid patterns of type ABA that can go below it. For example, yellow, red, yellow. We also find there are exactly 2 valid patterns of type ABC that can go below it. So, an ABA row gives birth to 3 ABAs and 2 ABCs in the next generation. Now let's do the same thought experiment for an ABC row, like red, yellow, green. What can go below this? After checking the valid colors for each spot, we find something different. An ABC row allows for 2 valid ABA patterns below it, and 2 valid ABC patterns below it. Notice the numbers are different here compared to the previous slide. This confirms that distinguishing between ABA and ABC was the right move. So we can summarize our findings into a nice mathematical formula. Let's say A sub I is the number of ways to paint row I with an ABA pattern, and B sub I is the number of ways to paint it with an ABC pattern. Based on our transitions, the new number of ABA patterns is 3 times the previous ABA count, plus 2 times the previous ABC count. Similarly, the new number of ABC patterns is 2 times the previous ABA count, plus 2 times the previous ABC count. We start at row 1 with 6 of each type. Let's double check this with a simple example. If n equals 1, we just have a single row. We know we have 6 ABA ways and 6 ABC ways. So the total is just 6 plus 6, which gives us 12. This matches the problem description perfectly. Just a quick heads up. We'll be walking through the solution using Python. But don't worry if that's not your main language. I'll be showing the full code for other popular languages like Java, C++, and JavaScript towards the end of the video. The logic remains exactly the same across all of them. Before we get into the code, let's talk about the real reason people fail at Leetcode. It's not because they can't reverse a linked list, it's because they break their daily streak. I built my daily to-do specifically to solve this. You can set Solve Daily Leetcode as a routine task. This means it reminds you to complete your routine tasks every day. It's a dedicated system to force you to be consistent, which I also use to remind myself to upload these videos every day. If you're watching this channel, you're trying to improve, so this tool makes sure you actually show up to do it. I also want to be 100% transparent about how this app will grow. I am an indie developer, not a big corporation. I will never take away a free feature you already use. Core features like repeating tasks remain free forever. However, as I add new server-heavy features, they will be part of the premium plan to help cover the costs of running the app. Also, the price of premium will go up every time I ship a major new feature, so the best time to get involved is right now, while it's early. Check it out at the link in the description. Okay, we've talked about the big picture and the logic. Now let's see what this looks like as actual code. I'll put the full solution up on the screen first. Alright, here's the complete Python code for our dynamic programming approach. It's surprisingly short, right? That's the beauty of figuring out the math beforehand. We just initialize our base cases, and then loop through the remaining rows, updating our counts using the formulas we derived. Let's break it down. First, we define our modulo constant, because the answer can get massive. Then, we set up our variables for the first row. We have a variable ABA set to 6, representing the 6 ways to paint the first row with the same outer colors. And we have ABAC also set to 6, representing the 6 ways to paint the first row with different outer colors. Now comes the main logic. We need to calculate the possibilities for row 2, then row 3, all the way up to row n. So we loop n-1 times. Inside the loop, we calculate next ABA and next ABC using the formulas we found earlier. Remember, a new ABA pattern can come from 3 old ABA patterns or 2 old ABC patterns. We apply the modulo at each step to keep the numbers manageable. Finally, we update our current counts to be these new values for the next iteration. After the loop finishes, our variables ABA and ABC hold the number of valid ways to paint the last row with those respective patterns. The total number of ways to paint the entire grid is simply the sum of these two values. We add them up, take the modulo one last time, and return the result. So how efficient is this? The time complexity is big O of n because we just run a loop proportional to the number of rows. The operations inside the loop are just basic multiplication and addition, which are super fast. The space complexity is big O of 1, or constant space. We aren't storing a huge table or array. We just update 4 variables as we go. This is as efficient as it gets. Alright, that covers the solution in Python. As promised, for those of you who code in other languages, I'm about to show the full solutions for Java, C++, and JavaScript. I won't be breaking these down in detail, but the logic is exactly the same. Just pause the video on your language of choice to check it out. Alright, as promised, here is the full solution in Java. Notice we use long to prevent overflow before the modulo operation. You can pause the video here to take a closer look. Next up, here is the C++ version of the solution. We use long here for the same reason, handling those large intermediate values. Feel free to pause and review the code. And finally, here is the solution in JavaScript. We use bigint, denoted by the n at the end of the numbers, to ensure precision with large integers. Hopefully, seeing it in a few different languages helps solidify the concepts. So let's wrap it up. The key takeaway here is to look at constraints. A fixed, small width like 3 is a huge green flag for this kind of pattern-based, dynamic programming. By grouping the states into ABA and ABC, we simplified a complex grid problem into a simple math formula. This technique of state compression is really powerful for interview questions. Also, if you're looking for even more Leetcode problems beyond the daily challenge, I've started a second channel called Leetcode Unlocked. It's where I'll be posting solutions to a ton of other problems, so if you're serious about your interview prep, be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Hope this solution breakdown made sense. If it helped, give that like button a click, maybe subscribe for more, or drop a comment if you have questions. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you know straight away when I upload a video, because I upload videos daily. If you want to support the channel, I've put affiliate links in the description to the tablet I use and a few other good options. Or if you're feeling generous, there's always the Boba Fund. Keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.